Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We're coming to you live from the Samstown Lanes here in East Las Vegas. My name's Kevin McHugh. I'm here with Chad Lusche, local PBA Regional West player. Chad, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm actually very excited to see the semifinals and the finals of this match. The youth program here that has been running here in Vegas has been doing extremely well, so I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Yes, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more, and we appreciate you coming down here. Look forward to some great matches. So let's get you guys caught up. Right now we're going into our semifinals match. In the JV department, we've got Bryan Gregson. He was your second place qualifier. He'll be going against Xavier Robinson. And then in the varsity division, we've got JT Verde the third. JT bowled great today. He actually had a 289. So he had the front 10 and finished it up. So 289 for JT, high score of the day. He was your number 2 qualifier. And Manny Farrell coming out of Utah. He actually just won the match before, first play of match play, and he'll be going against JT.
Yeah, and actually JT, to kind of cap it off as well, started actually minus 40 after the first game, to where he bounced back to get to plus 97 over the next 4 games. When you throw almost a 300 game into the equation, definitely helps the equation with that. But both of them bowled very well. Plus 77 for Manny, plus 97 for JT. So I kind of expect this to be a close match.
Yes, absolutely. No, I'm pretty lucky. I got the chance to bowl with JT quite a bit. My son's friends with him. They bowl together quite a bit, and he is very competitive, to say the least. And when he finds his line, he can stay on top of it, shot after shot after shot.
And then on the other side, we've got Xavier versus Bryan. Xavier looks like he was, for the most part, kind of steady Freddy. Did throw a 127 game there in game 3. Came back to finish strong with 240 and got to plus 17. Bryan finished at plus 48.
Oh, going plus over 5 games. Bryan Gregson, your JV bowler. That's fantastic. I had a chance to speak with Bryan's dad earlier today after the first match, and they're in a good spot.
And actually we're bowling on the Junior Gold television pattern from this year. Kind of looking back at the different age groups and everything else, it looks like the scores were kind of comparable with what we saw out here. The varsity or the older kids, the U20s and stuff like that, they would be averaging around 200, while the younger age group was right around that 180 to 190 range. So definitely very accomplished bowlers, but this definitely played a little tricky pair to pair all day long.
All right, we've got Manny stepping up here.
You guys hear me
Manny
okay?
as your D bowler. I'm sorry, Phil, go ahead.
No, all good. Chad, thanks for joining us. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me, Phil.
To having a high-level player like you, take it all day. Way to explain that what was happening today on all these pairs.
So we're bowling on the Junior Gold pattern, 45 feet in length, 26.9, basically 27 mils, with a ratio of 1 to 1 or 2.8. So kind of watching here in Samstown, for those that haven't bowled here, it's a very high friction house, and there were some youth that I saw try throwing surface early on with some balls that just hooked way too early, and the ball never got down lane, never pushed, and if it did happen to get down lane, it had nothing on the back end. Did see a decent amount of urethane go down the lane as well. The one pair that I saw urethane go down when it came to game 4, it actually almost kind of looked like it got inverted. The heads hooked early, it got tighter down lane, so people had to be a little softer to kind of get around that motion, and they actually balled up into stronger balls just for that inversion.
And do you believe that was the right move to make?
I think it was.
Yes.
When it comes down to making shots, I mean, when you don't strike, you want to leave yourself makeable spares and make them. I didn't see many miss spares, but when you do miss, that takes you from a 220 game to a 2-0, 190 game real quick, so it's definitely a good swing.
Yeah, absolutely. Bryan Gregson, your B bowler, coming off of a strike. Lane 50. He's clean through two strikes.
And the one thing I've noticed too is, there wasn't many lefties out here today, but the lefties that were playing definitely were trying to play the straighter angles, played with urethane, more closer to the gutter and whatnot, where you're going to notice the right-handers and even the two-handers, they're going to be in, they're going to kind of be wheeling and dealing. The biggest thing that I saw as well, if the ball never got to the right, generally the ball never saw the lane in the right spot and would never make the corner, leave 2-8-10s, especially for the right-handers. But at the same token, it's kind of playing devil's advocate, because if you throw the ball dead right, then it stood up too hard and too early, and generally wasn't good outcomes either there.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, great outlook. Appreciate having you here, Chad. You're doing a great job explaining how these patterns are playing out. Let's see if Phil's got anything to say.
Off storm balls on a counter. What's going on? Now, there is a white dot. That's a plastic ball.
Let's get a quick recap in here. We've got Manny just finished up. He's your D bowler. He's coming off of 2 spares. Xavier Robinson, your A bowler, coming off a strike.
So Xavier there is throwing a trend 2. And Gregson.
He's showing a knockout.
Oh, he's throwing a knockout?
I made a mistake.
Yeah, Brunswick knockout.
I thought it was an IQ for a second.
So just a little info on these guys. Bryan Gregson is 15 years old. He goes to Desert Oasis High School. Like Phil just mentioned, he's thrown the Brunswick knockout. Xavier Robinson, he's 13. He's at Liberty High School. He's been throwing the Trend 2 on his strike shots and the Brunswick attitude on his spares.
Again, we appreciate all the help that we get from manufacturers, but it's all about ball motion. So whatever the kids pick, whatever the kids throw, we just want them to strike and spare.
JT's clean through 3, coming off a double.
Still throwing the Nova. He's been throwing that since, I believe, game 1, and hasn't gotten out of it yet. So far it's holding up for him.
Yeah, he's in a good spot with that ball right now. So let's get a little info on our varsity bowlers. We've got JT Verde. JT is 12 years old. He goes to Dorel Academy. He's throwing the Storm Nova. Manny Farrell, 17 years old. He goes to Pleasant Grove in Utah. He's throwing the Zen Soul and Infinite Physics.
Yeah, it looks like he kind of went away from that Infinite or the Zen Soul, little cleaner ball, went to a stronger, little bigger ball with the Infinite Physics.
Okay.
We're not bowling on fresh. We're bowling on what's been left over from the 5 games. And again, with it being a little bit of carry down between plastic balls, urethane, kind of having to get into a stronger cover, stronger core in order to get the ball to pick up and do similar motion. Watching Manny earlier, he's basically in the same part of the lane that he was with the Soul, but now he's with the Infinite Physics.
Mm-hmm.
Spares, spares, spares.
Got to strike more.
All right, JT Verde getting ready to go. Manny Farrell's up on lane 50, coming off a strike.
Mr. 289.
Yeah, JT Verde We mentioned that earlier. That was a exciting game to watch.
Hey, he shot my weight.
Oh, he switched into the Idol Helios now. Kind of an interesting decision there.
Yeah, he was coming off of a double. I'd like to get some feedback from him about why he made that move.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't know. You know, the last few shots I've been watching him with that Nova, I mean, I wouldn't have changed. I don't know if he, you know, talking with his dad, they saw something that I didn't see from sitting here, but I definitely would not be into that Helios right now.
Good way to pick up the spare, JT. Let's see what he does on his next frame and see if he goes back to the Nova. Ooh, Xavier leaving himself a difficult split right there.
And that's kind of the hard part, especially with youth and stuff, having field talk with him and stuff, is, you know, you go 9 open, strike, so you battle back, and then you go 9 open, 9 open. It kind of really can deflate you and stuff, and this is where you have to start being mentally tough, especially as you start growing within the sport, wanting to go to college, higher level competitions, you know. You have to take one frame. If it's a bad frame, you got to move on from it. You know, you can't dwell on it, because when you dwell on it, that's generally when more mistakes occur, and that kind of seems to be what happened now.
Yeah, no, and I'm glad you brought that up. The mental game of the sport is very important. It takes some time. It takes some learning experience, and some people learn it quicker than others, but it's definitely a huge part of the game.
Manny's got all the high school boys over here, you know, being like a prep rally.
Good way to put that, Chad.
Yeah, that's kind of the weird thing when we have a middle schooler over here bowling against a high schooler.
Yeah, let's not forget JT's 12, and he's dangerous.
What do you finish, 9th?
Junior
11th?
gold this year?
Junior gold?
11th.
12 and under? Impressive.
That's all right, JT. Let's see where we're at. Let's get a little recap. JT coming off an open. He's got 96. We've got Manny working off of a strike. 89 for his total at this point. Bryan Gregson, your B bowler. He's coming off of a double.
So it looks like John here is going to go to the Motive Fatal Venom for this next shot. Yeah, I think that cover's just too clean right now. If he was going to throw that, definitely needs to get a little bit more right, get it more into the friction, just because that cover being so much cleaner than the Nova needs to see friction in order for it to make shape, where the Nova will kind of dig in a little bit more in the oil.
Uh-huh. All right, JT, picked up the spare there. Hey, everybody, let's take a chance to give a thank you to our sponsors. Coolwick, visit them at coolwick.com. Many selections, they have all your jersey apparel. Don't forget to enter LVYBT 10 at checkout. And Storm Bowling, visit them at stormbowling.com. The Bowlers Company. Storm Bowling doing a lot for our youth. They've donated a bowling ball for every LVYBT tournament, so we appreciate them very much. Thank you, Storm. Okay, we're jumping back up. We've got Bryan Gregson, your B bowler, coming off an open with a 126.
Yeah, and Xavier, just kind of like John, you know, throwing a pearl ball. The pearl's just not seeing the lanes in the right part, so it gets really lazy down lane. John's also a little bit steeper than what John was, or sorry, Xavier is a little steeper than what John was.
Okay.
And, you know, left himself the 2.4810.
Yeah, 2.4810. It's never a fun spare to shoot at. We've got Manny, your D bowler, coming off of a double, stepping up on lane 49. Seemed to have found a little something. He's clean through 6. Manny playing there just a little bit left of 20 at the arrows. 3 in a row. We got JT stepping up.
There we
Nice
go.
shot, JT. Back with that Nova in chat. I think you were onto something. I think that Nova was the right ball for JT, and I'm glad to see him get back into it.
Yeah, and I think, you know, especially at a younger age and when you bowl these tournaments, you know, you feel like you have to come back and make a great shot. You have to strike, and instead of staying clean, staying with a ball that, you know, kind of makes that shape, especially at this level, you don't want to be giving up pins to an opponent because all it takes is 1 or 2 breaks, and then all of a sudden you're behind the 8 ball.
Yes. If I could say something to them right now, I'd just like to tell them, hey, 9 spare at this point is not a bad shot.
Oh, boy.
So I just asked Bryan what he was doing on 50 and 49. 50, a little tighter, so he feels like he can tug the ball at the pocket, which is the wrong thing to say and do. On 49, he's like, what do I do, coach? So technically, I want him to stand in the same spot, take his eyes a little 1 or 2 right, and then watch the ball. So you can see on 50, it's a lot tighter. 49's a lot earlier hook. So we'll see what happens when he gets up on 49.
Okay. We got John Verde, your C bowler, coming off a strike, lane 49. Yeah, that Nova's working for him. Stick with that Nova, JT. Keep it on. Keep your foot on the gas.
The only bad part now is because he flagged the spare accidentally, but then made a poor choice, you know, going to the Helios as well as going to that Fatal Venom. Now he's found himself that he needs some help from Manny to get back in this match. But it looks like Manny's just wanting to close the door.
Mm-hmm. And that's part of the learning experience. Like we said earlier, JT's 12 years old. I mean, he's a excellent bowler, especially at his age. Like he said, he went 11th at Junior Gold this year in the U12 division. That's against some of the best youth bowlers in the country, and this is a learning experience. That's a 12-year-old bowling in the varsity division. There's only 2 of them right now.
Who's the other one?
Well, actually, he's 11. That's my son, Ezekiel Trejo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he just recently moved up there. Him and JT, they're very competitive. Xavier Robinson up there on lane 50.
So right there was kind of what we talked about during the semis, that fallback shot. I don't know if he was intentionally trying to do that, but basically he threw it right at the 3-pin, kind of just set up and just blew the rack straight back.
Manny coming off of a ham bone with 4. Let's see if he's got one in the 9th.
Just trying to get both of our JV players lined up as they ask me what to do. So for Xavier, it's about creating the proper angle down lane. He can stay with the ball that he originally went with, but he had to create the angle angles down lane properly.
Well, John's going to make this an interesting 10th frame here. Manny still has it in hand, but he's going to have to dig deep and be able to close the door on this.
Oh.
Never mind. Right as I say something, the bowling gods have shined on.
Yes, they have. This is very interesting in the varsity division. I like what I see from JT right now. He's sitting there. He's calm. He's not showing very much emotion. I know he wishes he would have made some different moves earlier, but he's made the change back to the Nova, and he's gone strike, strike, strike. Let's see what he does in the 10th. Very nice shot,
go,
Xavier.
And it's nice to at least see him smile.
Yeah, these kids, they all want to win. They are all very competitive. There you go, Bryan. Nice spare.
So we're going to have Bryan Gregson versus Reiley King in the championship match for the JV.
Xavier, JV bowler, who's your A bowler. Let's see what he finished up with. A 119. Excuse me.
I was say he's.
See if he can pick up the spare. I jumped
if he spares it,
jumped
it's
a little bit on that.
139.
Again, just trying to work with the kids to create the proper angles down lane. They're so focused at the arrows. Just trying to get Bryan to throw it at the 10 pin. He's moving 2 and 2 right to throw it at the 10 pin. There's more hang on the right lane.
Thank you, Phil. I appreciate the feedback.
Newer bowlers, so this is brand new for them as far as learning goes. Those are good.
JT coming off turkey, 3 strikes. He's in the 10th frame. Yeah, that was a tough break there.
What do you throw? 3 balls this game?
Yes.
Yeah, and I
For
think
2-0?
And I think the thing
Eugene?
is with John, you know, when you sit there and you see your opponent, you know, miss a spare, drop a spare, your home emotions and everything get going. And that one, he actually seemed like he threw it straight right, real quick, stood up, and went right through the nose for the 6, 7, 10.
Mm-hmm. I liked what I saw right there. JT had a tough game. He knows he could have rolled a little bit better, but I hope he knows he did a very good job. He fought to the end, and he had a chance at the end. And even though with defeat, he still was a good sport, went up there, shook Manny's hand, and was a man about it. So thank you, JT. We appreciate your good sportsmanship.
It's going to be kind of interesting to see. I mean, I know we only have one more match, but the transition that's happening right now, you know, 49. Well, that's interesting. We're going to shoot a pin while it's hanging from the rafters.
Yeah, we need to get the we need to get those extra pins laying down off the lane, the deadwood they call it.
If Manny can spare that while it's hanging in the air, we're gonna give him just the MVP.
Yeah, we'll nickname him Houdini if he can pull that off.
Gonna have to loft it.
Yeah,
Yeah, like a what is
loft
that?
it under the
65-foot
masking
loft?
unit.
All right, everybody, we got a little mechanical issue here on lane 50. We'll have it taken care of here shortly. Let's get a recap on our scores. JV department, we still have, oh no, excuse me, Bryan Gregson wrapped it up, He's your B bowler. He'll go on to face Reiley King. He defeated Xavier Robinson. Bryan was a 187, and he went against Xavier, who had a 120. Oh, excuse me. 138. I was way off there. What's going on, Kevin?
Yeah. 119, 120, 138.
Yeah, excuse me.
Let's not
It's hard.
shortchanging.
Very difficult.
138.
The Lions are
JT
losing.
and Manny.
Oh, how about them Raiders? Let's talk about that.
When you're a Detroit fan, you're used to losing. So the Raiders, I support them, but they're losing.
Absolutely, we support our Las Vegas Raiders. Come on, Phil.
I support them.
Go
Awesome.
Broncos.
When you're from Detroit, you're used to losing.
Well, not necessarily with bowling, right?
Some of the best bowlers in the world from Detroit, Michigan.
Yes, they
Michigan
are.
in general.
Yeah, no, and just a recap on that. I believe Detroit Lions might have been winning earlier. I saw them up on Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, they're down 28-24 right now. So.
Oh, okay. I can't see the TV. Is it 28-24?
Yeah, it's 28-24 Vikings with 40 seconds left.
All right. The wide world of Las Vegas youth bowling giving you a little feedback on the football games. All right, Manny's going to wrap this up here right now.
Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy.
Oh.
I didn't think it was going to take 15 seconds for it to be re-racked.
For everybody out there watching right now, we had a little technical difficulty. I'm not sure if that was Manny or Phil. No, we absolutely did not.
Phil takes ownership, so.
Phil does take ownership. That's all right. Phil is wearing a lot of hats right now. He's helping the kids. He's lining them out. He's watching ball motion, and he's taking care of things. Hey, let's jump back into it, everybody. Coolwick, an original sponsor here for the Las Vegas Youth Bowlers Tour. Visit coolwick.com for all your jersey and apparel needs, customizations, names on your shirts, whatever you need. Visit them, and don't forget to enter LVYBT10 at checkout. And Storm Bowling, the Bowlers Company. Storm Bowling doing a lot for our youth, doing a lot for Las Vegas Youth Bowlers Tour. We appreciate you, Storm Bowling, and don't forget to check out the SYC Storm Youth Championships at their website, stormbowling.com. And he finishes it off. That was one heck of a pin to take down.
2:15 for Manny. Good ball, John.
I'm glad I'm not going tour when you get
Proud of you, bud. Seriously, really proud of you. Hey, everybody. We just wanted to jump in there and give JT Verde a heads up and just tell him he did a great job today. That was a tough defeat for him, but he was going up against a very competitive 17-year-old Manny Farrell out of Utah, and JT fought back. He did have a chance in the 10th, and things didn't go his way, but he was a good sport about it, and he's got plenty more victories and good days ahead of him. So now let's get a little recap. My name's Kevin McHugh. I'm here with Chad Lusche, a local Las Vegas PBA West regional bowler. Chad, appreciate you stepping in. How are you doing?
You know, doing great. It's warm outside, AC's on inside. I can't be happier.
Yeah, I know the feeling. This summer was a little bit different here in Las Vegas, but I think it's going to start cooling off. I think we're going to get a little heat this week, and then we're going to get into that good October, November weather, and then bam, winter will be here.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we've been hotter lately than we have all summer, and I'm just ready for the cool weather, maybe a little bit of snow if we happen to get it. But Charleston might be saying my name.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So in the championship match, we've got in the JV division, Reiley King. He'll be going against Bryan Gregson. And in the varsity division, Seth Stovall, your #1 seed. He's been bowling very well, very well. And then we've got Manny Farrell coming up. So very excited to see this match. I think you're going to have a very good match between both divisions.
Yeah, Seth qualified first. He was plus 102. He was the only bowler in the varsity to have games over 200 every single game. The one thing with Reiley, he plays at straighter angles. He likes to play the outside part of the lane. He was bowling on the one pair with a lot of urethane, and him and I talked during qualifying to where he had to be a little softer, be a little bit further inside with the same ball in order to get around because the head's hooked so much from the urethane.
Mm-hmm. So right now we've got Reiley and Seth jumping in there, taking a few practice shots. We'll get things going here shortly.
Yeah, it looks like Reiley's going to stay with his, MO right off the outside, nice and relaxed, makes good shape. So.
Well, Reiley asked me, he wanted to throw his gem, but this pair's hooking more, way more. So we had him jump back to his other ball.
All right, everybody, let's get this championship match going. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. We're here at the finals match here at the Samstown Lanes. I'm Kevin McHugh here with Chad Lusche. Chad, how you doing?
Doing wonderful. Looks like Seth is throwing a purple hammer at
now
18 on the inside.
Yes, he is. Let's jump back in there. We've also got Phil Placco down there on the lanes with the bowlers. Phil, appreciate you being down there. How you doing?
Doing good. Just helping these kids get lined up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Based on if they ask me.
All right, everybody, just a second. We're just getting things lined out. We've got Seth Stovall. He is your A bowler. He'll be stepping up here in just a minute. Excuse me, I have that incorrect, actually. So, Chad, let's jump into it really quick. You've been here all day. You've been watching the kids. Have All right, he's going to start on A. Sorry about that, Chad. We just had a little second with Phil. Back to you, though. Give me a little breakdown of what you expect to see coming here in the championship match.
So over the last game, I definitely see 49 starting to make the transition. Mm-hmm. I think Manny's going to have to either get deeper on that lane, or he's going to have to be able to project the ball a little bit better on 49 versus trying to make it hook. Watching during warm-up, Seth was throwing purple hammer basically on the inside part of the lane. It didn't look really good, at least in my opinion. We're going to see if he stays with it, but at the same token, with him migrating in, the heads are going to go a little bit more, and it should get a little bit tighter down lane, but I don't think in one game it's going to make that big of a difference right now.
Okay.
Reiley's going to be on the outside part of the lane. It looks like he's throwing a conspiracy scheme. And, the one thing is that's going to kind of help create more friction as well. But, we'll kind of see how the people who are in deep on the lane respond with that.
Okay. All right, we had Reiley King on lane 49 start off with a strike. Bryan Gregson over there on lane 50 picked up a spare. Okay, we've got Manny Farrell. Manny is your D bowler. Manny stepping up on lane 50.
So it looks like Manny took a good 7-8 board jump left, gave the ball a little bit of air, and you saw it even check up even harder.
Manny picked up 8. Let's see if you can get a spare here on the first frame. It's on lane 50. Your D bowler.
And it looks like Seth threw an IQ tour. Looks like he grabbed his, Manny grabbed his Zen Soul. Might be going back to it.
Nice shot, Seth. Everybody's clean through one. Got to get rid of those nerves. Seth's had a big break right there being the #1 seed, but he's used to it. He takes a #1 seed quite a bit. See if he can shake it off and see how this game goes out.
Sorry. Pretty funny. If you go back a couple years when Seth started bowling, he walked into a bowling center, didn't make the high school team. He said he wanted to switch to two-handed. After we switched him over two-handed, I said, in a year, you'll become one of the best bowlers on the wet in Vegas. 2 years later,
he's there.
He's there.
He was in the championship round, did great back in September in our tournament over there at Santa Fe. He's been doing great for a while, actually. Seth's a great bowler. He's a great kid overall. Let's get a little feedback on Seth. Seth is, let's take a look. He's 17 years old. He goes to high school at Shadow Ridge. He did bowl with the Purple Hammer quite a bit today. I think he's making a ball change. Is he throwing the IQ Tour, Phil? Can you tell? I believe it is. Yeah, it looks like it.
Looks like a high road pearl.
Oh, nice ball, Seth.
Yep, high road pearl.
That's how quick things change out here. I talked to Seth, and he thought he was going to roll that Purple Hammer all the way through, but we're on the second frame, and ball change made, but it was a good ball change.
Yeah, high road pearl with 3,000 fresh.
And looks like Manny went to a Zen, actually.
JV bowler stepping up. Bryan Gregson on lane 50, your B bowler. Got a little bit inside that time. See if you can pick this up. It's all right, Bryan. You're doing a great job. You're here in the championship rounds, and you've bowled well today.
Well said. Reiley and Bryan, very nervous.
And that's
Reiley?
the one thing with Reiley. You know, when he gets inside and he has the ball inside, because he's more speed dominant than he's rev dominant, his ball does not see the pattern on the back end when he misses in. That's why it kind of hydroplanes the entire way. That was solid 5-pin action.
Little teeter-totter there, but he got it. Reiley King picking up the spare there. Reiley King and Bryan Gregson both sitting at 28. Manny Farrell coming off of a strike. He's your D bowler on lane 50. Let's see what he's got. Ferrell working on a double. Seth Stovall, your C bowler, lane 49.
That's a good shot.
Reiley King getting all 10 right there with a strike. Seth Stovall, lane 49. And he's got it. Hey, everybody, let's jump in and give a thank you to our sponsors. Sponsors Cool Wick. Visit them at coolwick.com. Cool Wick, all your jersey and apparel needs. Don't forget to enter LVYBT10 at checkout. And Storm Bowling, the Bowlers Company. You see them everywhere. You can't go into a bowling alley without seeing them or Cool Wick. And Storm Bowling, visit them at stormbowling.com. All right, we're back at it. Bryan Gregson, your JV bowler, coming off of a spare. He's on lane 49. Little Brooklyn there, but he got them all.
Yeah, lane 49 is definitely going to start taking off here.
Yeah, the middle's picking up even sooner. They're going to have to go around the pattern or get way left.
Also, a big thank you to Cliff Barnes with Cool Wick and Gary Holsenberg and company with Storm for even sponsoring me with the regional side as well. So,
yeah, absolutely. This would be a big difference if they weren't helping out. They do a lot for our bowlers, our youth bowlers. A lot for the pros, a lot for the youth. So thank you very much.
See how Manny kind of went around the pattern? Got the ball to kind of hook stop on 49.
Yes,
if their angles are too straight through the front part of the lane, just picks up too soon.
Manny's been talking with Mr. Clay Reese back here as well, who recently won the Utah Masters CBT, I think Masters or Championship Bowling Masters. So we'll be seeing him at the Masters.
He's on Facebook. He's not watching Manny.
I'm right behind him. I think he just pulled that up. Bryan Gregson coming off of a strike. He's got 9 right there. Let's see if he can pick this up. Reiley King, your A bowler. See what he's got. Playing right up. Second arrow right there. It's clean since the second.
So we have a tied match here after 5 frames. What is the tiebreaker procedure for the tournament? Not saying we're going to have one, but if we do, what is the tiebreaker?
We do. So basically what we do is we call it what? Yeah, it's a roll-off. So basically our tournament is based on spares. So what we do is, let's say somebody had a 5-count spare, and then the other bowler gets up and goes 9-count miss, 5 spare, wins.
Is it just the one frame? Oh, it's just continuous?
Yep. Yeah, it's continuous. So first win. Somebody spares, somebody strikes, strikes win.
Gotcha.
Right? So if they go 8 spare, 9 spare, go on to the next frame.
Gotcha. Manny's harnessing his inner Jason Belmonte here, starting to move in, get a little bit of air, and just really open up the lane. I think Seth's going to have to jump in there with him.
Yeah, no, I can't agree anymore. Manny's doing a great job. He's spare in the first, and he's 4 strikes through 5.
That's close.
Bryan Gregson. He's over there on lane 49. Picked up the first 8. Let's see if he can get the spur. Seth Stovall, your C bowler, coming off a spare. He knew he didn't like that. Nice spare, Bryan. So everybody, here at Las Vegas Youth Bowlers Tour, we are all scratch all the time. We have payouts, and I want to go over those. JV, first place, $300. Second place, $200. Third place, $100. And fourth and fifth place, $75. In the varsity division, we had a few extra bowlers in varsity today. First place is $300. Second place is $200. Third place is $150. And fourth and fifth is $75. Scholarship funds, everybody. Smart account. Man, he got a little bit inside on that, but he got all 10. That 49, lane 49 is definitely playing different. Give us a little feedback on that, Chad.
Yeah, I think, you know, watching the difference, Manny's trying to get a little bit more loft or on 50. I wouldn't say 50 is really tighter, but watching 49, he definitely put the ball down early. The ball picked up even earlier, and I think that's what caused him to go. So I think he's going to have to kind of play the same, get a little bit further left on 49, give it a little air over that middle part. I honestly would say both lanes are going to be very comparable to each other right now. But, you know, that would be what I would be doing. And even maybe trying to just shim it a little bit through the front part versus trying to throw it all the way to the gutter on the opposite side.
Okay. Seth, your C bowler. He is clean.
Is a good word. Explain a little bit more what you see with the word shim.
So with the word shim, basically, when we have wet, dry aspects of the lane, if we throw it too far right, the ball wants to stand up. But in the inside part of the lane, there's some hold. Again, with urethane being thrown quite a bit by our older players, what they've done is they've almost kind of inverted the pattern. So we need to get over the heads where there's the early friction, allow the ball to kind of float down the lane. And again, we're not looking to create big shape or big angles. We're looking for the ball to tilt just on the back end a little bit. And basically kind of, I was explaining it earlier to Kevin, just like that on 49, where the ball literally just kind of lays off. It's like throwing a fade in football, you know, just let it float and allow the ball to do the work for you.
Yeah, that was a great example. Bryan Gregson just did exactly what you were talking about. Very nice shot, Bryan.
Well said, Chad. Way to explain it.
Manny Farrell, 6 strikes, stepping up in the 8th frame. D bowler on lane 49. Let's see this shot, and then let's jump into some highlights.
Just like that.
Nice shot,
again,
Manny.
not trying to create
well done.
big angles, but again, just let the ball tilt enough on the back end. All right, we're going to jump into some highlights from the night.
Here's Xavier Robinson.
And you notice a lot of the players were playing a lot straighter angles, especially off the word go on this 45-foot pattern.
That was Mason Snow right there. He had a high game yesterday of 278. Kiana. There you go, Kiana. Very nice. Reiley
Here's our
King bowling
leader.
in the finals right now. Also making highlights. Reiley King, your A bowler, picking up the strike there in the 9th. He's been clean since the 3rd frame. Seth
spare.
Stovall, nice split.
Great spare on that washout.
All right, we've
Hey,
got
Kevin.
Bryan Gregson jumping up, your B bowler on lane 50, coming off of a strike.
Who's down there practicing on lane 55?
Hey, that's my boy Ezekiel Trejo.
Kid works hard.
No, he loves the game. Loves the game, loves to learn, and just to get out there and bowl.
Whoa.
Oh, Seth got a little bit right.
Hey, Phil, just out of curiosity, how many of these bowlers that are out here with this tournament bowling the Junior Gold program?
I could jump in there right
Today's
now.
event, or in general,
Just kind of in general.
90% bowl in our junior gold. A couple of them bowl at Suncoast at Becky's place, and a couple of them bowl at Jerry Francomano's Strike Zone.
Okay.
So
Xavier, he bowls
Xavier,
Sunset.
yep, he bowls at Suncoast. But it's really cool what's going on around the valley. Ben has some good ideas. Hopefully that we can put that together in the next couple of years.
Absolutely.
It'll
JT
change the dynamic of
Verde,
bowling.
he jumps in
around
there. He's a Suncoast
Vegas.
bowler, and we've got Xavier Robinson. He's a Sunset bowler.
And again, all those different houses that people will at, you know, different topography, different oil, different patterns, your pin setters, your kick plates. There's so many different things that come into play when it comes to bowling.
Yeah, the most important part about all of this, no matter where they bowl, is to get their friends involved, so we can continue to grow this nonprofit Las Vegas Youth Bowlers Tour.
Absolutely, Phil. This is a great experience. If you're out there and you want to improve your game and improve it in a great environment with Phil, Dave Allen, all the founders here of Las Vegas Youth Bowlers Tour, Ben Huffman, Mike Ruiz, these guys do a great job. They put on a great show. Las Vegas Youth Bowlers Tour. We've also got Emily Vizcarra. She does a great job with fundraising. We look forward to having a couple events this year, so keep an eye out. We'll be letting you guys know when they're out there with dates.
Well,
That's gotta hurry.
Las Vegas Youth Bowlers Tour now is all about you, Kevin.
Phil, you're too kind.
Of course, the guy sitting to your right sounds really good down the microphone, too.
Oh, Chad,
Chad.
it's been a pleasure being up here with you. Your input on the game is great, man. You explain it well, you articulate it well, and appreciate you coming down.
I'm no Randy Peterson, but, you know, I do what I can.
Yeah, don't forget Rob Stone.
Reiley.
All
I
right.
was going to say.
Reiley finishing up with a 185. He will take the championship match there in the JV department. 185. And Bryan Gregson, not a bad game at all. It was close. 182 for Bryan Gregson.
It's funny, I'm sitting here talking to Mom behind you guys, and he missed that spare, and she thought he lost. We have to teach the parents how to keep score, too. And she's a school teacher.
I'm not going to ask what subject.
What subject, Mom? Math?
All right, Seth's wrapping up here on the 10th frame.
Oh, going with the backup ball.
Little backup ball.
Yeah, great bowling by all the youth bowlers today. Definitely, you know, was a little bit more of a grind for some, but hopefully they learn to experience it and, you know, come back. I think the next tournament's on the 3rd and 4th. Or is it the 9th? Stand by. We'll get that date 1 second here.
Yeah, no, next event is October 8th and 9th. Now, congratulations to Reiley King taking the championship division in the JV department, and Manny Farrell with the 245 in the varsity division. Good job, Manny. Hey, big thanks to everybody coming out today. Seth, Stovall, Bryan, Gregson, you guys did great. Got a lot to be proud of. All the kids, all the parents out here, thank you for making it.
And on that note, I appreciate everything. I appreciate the opportunity to come out and go Broncos.
Let's go Raiders. Come on, Chad. Hey, thanks for coming out, Chad. It was great doing this with you.
Thanks again to Cool Wick for sponsoring this and helping out with making our youth look good. Use the code LVYBT10 on checkout to save yourself 10%. And thank you to Storm International, the Bowlers Company, Roto Grip, and 900 Global for your support. Again, check out their products. A lot of new balls coming out. The Night Road, the Supernova. Check it out, Matchmakers, and we'll see you at the next tournament.